want to welcome everyone who has made the time to this information session on the FIDIC credentialing, which we are sharing with you as a collaborative effort between CESA, Consulting Engineer South Africa, and FIDIC Credentialing, which is one of the additional offerings from our mother body, International Federation of Consulting Engineers, FIDIC, based in Geneva, for those of us who are not all that familiar with them, which in fact, as you may or may not know, is an organization that provides a whole lot more than just the FIDIC contract documents, which most seem to be familiar with. Many other aspects relate to the industry, consulting engineering, the capacity and the credentialing that stands any one of your practitioners in good stead, wherever they may be applying their professional engineering trade, profession. Let's not call it a trade. I might get shot down for that. So without further ado, my name is Chris Campbell, and you would have seen on the earlier slide, we have a host of panelists, which I will share with you briefly as part of the agenda. And it is indeed my pleasure to be doing the welcome for this FIDIC credentialing session. And let me very quickly swap over to the agenda that we will be following for the proceedings of this webinar. Firstly, our timing, and I do apologize that we've got 5 or so minutes, over the actual start time, but I think that was really to accommodate the joining of the various participants, which happens generally from 12 o'clock onwards. And just so that you are aware, we have a host of panelists from FIDIC Credentialing, FIDIC itself, all intimately involved in this process, who will be sharing with you various aspects. Mine as the CEO of Consulting Engineer South Africa, and also a member of the FIDIC Directors and Secretaries Advisory Council. I'm happy to share with you this information session. We will then segue into our next speaker, which is Dr. Michelle Kruger, who is on the FIDIC Credentialing Board. And by the way, in case you don't know, Michelle used to be a chair of our CESA Young Professionals and served on the CESA board, so she's very familiar with your businesses locally and can share with you the benefits. The head of FIDIC Credentialing is Mr. Thanos Totsikas, and Thanos will go into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty. He will be followed by one of the other senior persons in his FIDIC Credentialing unit, Leanne Davis, and Leanne will then segue into providing Folake, also from FIDIC Credentialing, the opportunity to share a little bit more with you in respect of overview for the Certified Consulting Engineer. In fact, if I may just correct myself, you've got 3 different categories we'll be talking about briefly. The Consulting Professional, the Consulting Engineer, and the Certified Contract Manager, all being slightly different. We will have the FIDIC team present all of that, with Leanne then and Folake, as well as Thanos, going further into sharing with you the how-to, when is the exams, how to prepare, and we will then have a bit of a joint sharing with you on how it is that CESA and FIDIC have come together in this initiative, and also then what would be great is if we did have uptake and people taking the exams this year. By the way, the FIDIC Global Infrastructure Conference 2025 is being held in Cape Town in September this year. There will be an award ceremony, so anybody who would have taken the exam and passed may have the opportunity on a, let's call it a global stage at a very affordable price, step up to receive their certificates, where FIDIC conferences are generally held elsewhere, in other countries, on other occasions. This year happens to be in Cape Town, South Africa. We'll have a Q&A session and some closing remarks from Thanos. So I'm going to hand over to Michelle, who will share with you what are the benefits of pursuing such certification through the FIDIC credentialing as you consider expanding your business beyond the horizons of our South African borders. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Chris. So I want to thank CESA and FIDIC for the honor to speak about FIDIC credentialing. I've had the honor of being part of credentialing from the very beginning. And maybe I can set the scene as well for you. There's been a long road getting to where we are right now. Initially, credentialing was something that a very limited amount of people in the world, typically in Europe, typically white male, the credentialing was very focused on that group. A lot of effort went into, from the FIDIC side, to make credentialing inclusive, open to everyone. So I also want you to see this as a journey for us to have brought credentialing to you in South Africa and to the region. So what are the benefits? The exciting bit is you are able to be seen as part of the FIDIC family, in that the three pillars of FIDIC is quality, integrity, and sustainability. So imagine you now would carry the badge of FIDIC, and it's known, of course, all around the world. But most importantly, it'll give yourself, your managers, your clients comfort that this is someone who has gone through the rigorous, shall we say, testing of FIDIC, and you've come out successfully on the other side. You'll, at the end of the day, get a badge, which is also, shall we say, well-known on LinkedIn. So this badge is something you will have on your LinkedIn profile as well. At the end of the day, if you look at the different categories that they're going to present to you now, there are benefits to all of them. Either you're able to give comfort that you're able to run a consulting practice, you are well versed with aspects regarding the FIDIC engineer and, of course, contracts manager. So in your career, the benefit that you'll carry yourself is something that you'll have on your CV, and it'll give comfort to not just local institutions or local clients, but, for example, your World Bank, your African Development Bank, your Asian Development Bank. So this can take your career worldwide. But for example, if you're a manager or you're owner of the business, if you're recruiting someone with this credentialing, you know that it's someone who's got the rubber stamp of integrity, sustainability, and quality, someone you can trust. I think this is very important in our field, that there's trust either way. So you can say, for example, World Bank, or clients, or companies, and of course people working for these companies. It's one of the most important currencies in our field. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited the fact that we are here, and the long road that it's taken to get us here, and the fact that credentialing is something that's so much easier to attain if you're a South African or in the African continent. And ultimately, you'll be able to deliver great infrastructure locally or internationally with this amazing quality, sustainability, and integrity stamp from FIDIC. Thank you. So I'll give over to Thanos from here. Thanks, Thanos.
you, Michelle, and good afternoon all. I'm very excited to be here with you today. Thank you very much to Chris and his team for setting this informative session. It's a pleasure for me and the team to be here with you, and we will try to give you a brief overview of our offerings. And as mentioned before, we hope that we will be able to welcome you in any of our exams in the future, because as mentioned, having an international qualification is very important for you personally and for your firms as well. So I'll try to share my screen. I have some slides ready. Please let me know if you can not see my screen. So, all right. So I'll start with what was mentioned before by Chris. FIDIC is the international organization, International Federation of Consulting Engineers, headquartered in Geneva, and we're 111 years old already. And we are usually known for our contracts, but as I mentioned before, we do much more than contract. We have, apart from the membership supporting our member associations like CESA, we have a publications department, events, FIDIC Credentialing, which is the official certification body of FIDIC, and FIDIC Academy, which is the official training arm of FIDIC. Today, we will focus on the fourth pillar of FIDIC, one of the most important capacity building initiatives of FIDIC, FIDIC Credentialing, which was founded in 2019 and officially launched in 2021, and mandated to develop internationally accepted and globally applicable certification program and assess individuals in the industry about their skill sets in specific specialties of our industry. FCL is a fully owned subsidiary of FIDIC and is run by their own board. So we have our own governance structure. The management board, which is responsible for the general oversight of our operation, and is chaired by Sir Vivian Ramsey, who is an international chair and very well known in the industry. And the second board is the Credentialing Certification Board, run by Engineer Bayo Adeola, and includes the 6 chairs of the 6 certification programs that I will mention in a few more minutes. As you can see, this slide summarizes our credentialing structure. We have a group of more than 60 volunteers and subject matter experts who contribute with their experience and their expertise in developing and maintaining up-to-date and applicable certification programs. These are the 6 certification programs that we're currently offering. Today, we will deep dive in the first 3, the Certified Consulting Professional, the Certified Consulting Engineer. Those 2, we have categorized them as generic and business practice certification. And then we go to the contract-related certification like the Contract Manager, the Procurement Specialist, the Trainer, and the Adjudicators. Before I pass the floor to my colleagues to start deep diving on everything, I just need to mention a few things about the progress that we have done so far. So we started our journey in 2021 with some of our exams taking place throughout the year. And until last year, we are now in a level where we run at least around 20 exam sessions spread all over the year for all our 6 certification programs. Up to now, we have issued nearly, the data in this slide is at the beginning of this year, but up to now, we have issued more than 1,600 certificates worldwide, and you can see how these certificates are divided in each of our 6 programs, which means that slowly the certifications are very well received by the market. One important aspect that is very important for us, we consider very important for us, is the global applicability of our programs. And you can see at these slides that we have already accommodated candidates from nearly 100 countries. This proves that the thirst for FIDIC qualification is worldwide, and it's very important that we maintain this momentum. Deep diving on the figures, you will see that for the first 3 programs that we will discuss today, we have alumni from 42 countries in the Consulting Professional certification. The Consulting Engineer program is relatively new, and we have alumni from 16 countries, and the FIDIC Certified Contract Manager, which is one of the most important and popular programs. We have candidates participating from 64 countries. One thing that we are very proud of is the positive feedback that we have from our candidates. You can see in the graph here that more than in all our programs, we have a rate of either very good or good for more than 80% of our candidates, and we're very proud of that. Now I will pass on the floor to my colleague, Lee, to give you a deep dive on the FIDIC Certified Consulting Professional. Lee?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon or good morning or good evening to you wherever you are. So as Thanos mentioned, I'll be speaking a little bit today about the FIDIC Certified Consulting Professional, which is a generalist qualification for early career professionals working in the consulting industry. And what is a consulting professional? Well, consulting professionals implement stronger resilience measures, promoting effective business planning and optimizing the work of consultancy firms. This is a business practice certification, and a broad range of expertise are tested. So if you look at the examination syllabus, we're covering governance of a consulting firm, administration and organization of the firm's activities, marketing and business development, human resource management, financial management, clients' relationships and communications, sustainable development, risk management, quality management, business integrity management, contracts and agreements management, and then also diversity and inclusion. It should be noted that in terms, again, I stress the importance of this. This is a generalist qualification, and it doesn't specifically focus on FIDIC contract clauses. So this is something that is more applicable if you're not familiar with the contracts themselves. In terms of minimum requirements for this program, it's a minimum of 3 years practical experience in the consulting sector of the infrastructure or the construction sector. In terms of our assessments, they are all conducted online. The language at present is in English, and you'll be asked to answer 60 multiple choice questions in a single sitting. So this is one single exam. It's 150 minutes long, and it is a closed book examination. So that means no resources will be permitted in order to take this examination. So that's essentially the FIDIC Certified Consulting Professional. I'm going to invite my colleague FIDIC, who will now discuss with you the FIDIC Certified Consulting Engineer program.
Good day to everyone. Thank you, Lee, for that. I'll go over the points very quickly. So the FIDIC Consulting Engineer, or the FCCE program, as it is commonly known, is a senior level qualification. It is one of our certifications that do not require you to have a knowledge of FIDIC contracts. Rather, it focuses on the business practices knowledge and covers how the business of a consulting firm or a consulting services body or company is run. It assesses the engineer's knowledge and skills in managing a consulting engineering or a construction project, whether it's nationally, regionally, or internationally. Some of the common characteristics which you need to apply for this certification include a degree in STEM, STEM-related subject, 5 years of experience in the industry, professional experience, and you must hold a professional engineering qualification or license, and it must be up to date. The exam takes place online. It's invigilated. It consists of 100 multiple choice questions, and it must be completed in 210 minutes or in less than 4 hours. It is a closed book exam, and the pass mark is 60%. This qualification is especially suitable for people who are qualified engineers or consulting engineers. It's also suitable for an engineer who is looking to validate their managerial skills. And it's a senior level qualification, and it's a good way to gain an international qualification from FIDIC. What do we mean by engineers who want to validate their managerial skills? We know that nationally or internationally, engineers may already have professional qualifications, but they may not have a way of showing that they know how to manage teams. So this is a good way to show the project team that you can manage the entire project, which is an engineering project. I think that covers the main points for this qualification. And I'll hand over the floor now to Thanos to go over the contract manager certification. Thank you.
Thank you for lucky. Thank you for lucky for giving a brief overview of the two business practice certification, and I will conclude today with the third program that we will be presenting, which is the FIDIC Certified Contract Manager. In the contrary with the other two programs that we mentioned before, this is a contract-related, FIDIC contract-related certification program. It's targeted to senior level professionals who manage FIDIC contracts throughout the project's lifecycle. We practically assess the skill set required from a contract manager to apply the provisions of the three main FIDIC books, the red, the yellow, and the silver, on the major contract management related tasks of the entire project lifecycle. You can see over there the bullet point. This is the project lifecycle. So we have questions assessing those skill sets required in order to gain this international qualification. This is one of the most popular programs because, as you are aware, FIDIC contracts are widely used. We've seen that there are a lot of people interested in taking the exam of the FCCM program and gaining the certification if they are successful. And we're very happy to also have noticed on the web that the FCCM program is now being included in job advertisements as a preferred qualification that will be reviewed during the selection process. So we're very happy to see that. And we hope that some of you who manage FIDIC contracts on your day-to-day professional life will try to take the exam, and hopefully we'll welcome you to our alumni of FIDIC Certified Contract Managers. In order to be allowed to take the exam, you have to meet specific minimum requirements. There are practically two routes with slightly, with very minor differences. If you have a degree, you need to have at least 5 years professional experience in the field and provide evidence that you have at least 3 years experience of managing this FIDIC red, yellow, or silver book. Alternatively, if you don't have a degree, then the general professional experience increases from 5 to 10 years. So you need to have, if you don't have a degree, you need to have a 10-year experience in the field. And specifically, again, 3 years of practical application of the provisions of the three main FIDIC books in your day-to-day activities. As mentioned before by my colleagues, similarly to the FCCE and the FCCP certification exams, the FCCM, the Contract Manager program, is being delivered online under a fully invigilated environment, currently only available in English. And during the 250 minutes exam duration, which is like 4 hours and 10 minutes, you need to answer 100 multiple choice questions that assess your skill sets in the syllabus that I just mentioned before. It's worth noting that we don't expect people to memorize every single clause of all these books. It wouldn't be fair. So we allow our candidates to consult the red, the yellow, and the silver books, copies that you already may have, either electronic copies or hard copies. But we strongly encourage you to be well prepared before you sit the exam, and don't rely on your ability to look up the answer during the exam, because I think this will not, you will not have the time to complete all the exam if you don't have a good grasp of knowledge of the FIDIC, of these three books that are mentioned on this slide. I think that's in a nutshell the overview of the FIDIC Certified Contract Manager program. I'll now pass the floor to my colleague, Lee, who will give you an update and will explain to you how you can apply for these certification programs. Lee.
Thank you very kindly. All right, so hopefully one of the 3 programs that we've shown on screen has tickled your interest. But let's speak a little bit about the candidate's certification journey. So there's 4 pillars that we advise candidates to review. So the first one is have a look at the FCL website, fcl.fidic.org. And this is where you can find all the programs, prerequisites, the examination structure, syllabus, exam dates, and all information that is pertinent to the program. Once you're ready to take this next step, you'll then be encouraged to visit our certification platform, which is certification.fidic.org. And this is where you'll get ready to submit your application and all the prerequisite documents. As you can see on screen, this is submit your documentation on the ATS, or the application tracking system. It should be important to note that should you decide to visit certification.fidic.org today and you try to submit an application, please note that under the programs, only the programs that is open you'll see on screen. So unfortunately, no programs are open at this stage, but my colleague later will share with you the dates for the next examination. Afterwards, when you have submitted your information and your application then goes for review, if any additional documents are required or something is not clear, you'll receive an email from us, and then we'll add additional documents to your application. And once you are approved, you'll then pay your examination fees to reserve your place in the next examination. After which, you'll be taking your exam online. And this is just a preview of what the online platform looks like. But as we said, your examinations are going to take place online, exclusively online, which means that the barrier for traveling, finding an examination venue, the cost of getting to an examination venue and booking a place for all of these things is eliminated. So you get to take the exam online. And as long as you're in a secure environment, you have a stable Wi-Fi connection, you can take it from anywhere in the world. As we mentioned, all our exams are online with live invigilation. So this means that in order to take the examination on the specific day, you'll need your stable internet connection. Your camera needs to be working as well as your microphone, and then you'll be able to take the examination online. Now, at the end of this examination, the highlight would be to receive your digital certificate and badge. So this is sent to you directly after you've, well, not directly after, but rather this is sent to you after the quality control measures have been put in place. You will receive your digital certificate and your badge, which you can share via your social platforms, which you can share with on your business card, your CV, and so forth with potential employers or project partners. If you'd like to see these badges out there in the world, I'd encourage you to go onto LinkedIn and you can search for the hashtag FIDIC Certified, where you'll see a lot of the certificates or proud owners of the certificate sharing them online. So I guess in a nutshell, that is what what you can expect. But if you have any questions about this, please do not hesitate to reach out to fcl@fidic.org if you need any clarity. And also you can visit CESA.co.za/SCE, the School of Consulting Engineering, if you need more information about this process and about the programs. Next, I'll invite my candidate, FIDIC, who's going to talk to you about the next exam sessions. FIDIC, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lee. So I think you can see on the screen the exam sessions that we have for 2025. As you can see, we have the 3 listed here. So if we go one by one, I would say we start with the FCCP. So the FCCP is the FIDIC Certified Consulting Professional certification. And there are 2 exam sessions still possible for this year. So the next one will be in August, and the one after that will be in November. For the FCCE, which is the FIDIC Certified Consulting Engineer, there's 1 session left in this year, and that will take place in September. And for the FCCM, which is the FIDIC Certified Contract Manager, there are 2 more exam sessions possible in this year, which will be in October and another in December. I think it's important to know that for each certification program, we open the application window for 1 month. which is generally a month before the exam takes place. So in the case of the FCCP, which is the first one, the application period opens from July until 20th of August. And for the FCCE, the application opens from the end of July, which is 20th of July, until the 29th of August. And for the FCCM, the application window opens for the next session, which is in October, from the 25th of August until the 26th of September. I think it's important to note on the website that if the application period is not currently open, you can sign up on the EOI, and that way you can be informed when the application window opens. In terms of the steps to apply, I think my colleague Lee covered it very well, but I would summarize by saying that it's important to submit within the window of application opening. And then once you submit, you have to pay the application fee. And then afterwards, we review your submission, we approve your submission or ask for additional documents, as she's mentioned. And then you get a notification to pay, and then you are confirmed to attend the exam. So those are the main steps to complete for that. In terms of what you need to know as well, if there are any questions about how the program is run in terms of what we look for, we advise you to look at our webpage, which contains the application information, the requirements that we ask. It contains the body of knowledge, which will be helpful for you to prepare. It contains the exam syllabus as well, and also the assessment details. I think that's about it. If you have any questions, please add them to the questions that will be posed later. I now hand the floor back to my colleague, Thanos, for the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you, Folake. I think you now have like a general understanding of how FIDIC credentialing operates. We briefly touched the details of the 3 of the 6 certification programs. I think it would be useful for us to say a few things about your exam preparation. FIDIC programs are not designed to make you fail, but we strongly encourage people to come well prepared to the exam so they can properly assess their skills and receive their certification. We don't require specific training before that. We encourage everyone to have a look on our website, as my colleagues mentioned. Each of the programs contains a link with the program's reading material, so all the books that the body of knowledge of the examination. So we strongly encourage you to have a look on the reading materials, and if you don't have some kind of familiarity with those materials, please have a look at them. We also offer a free sample test with past questions that we were included in each of the 5 of the 3 programs question bank. So please reach out to us, ask for the free sample test. We will share this with you. It's online. It's completely free, and you can take this at any time without any invigilation, and you can familiarize yourself both with the examination environment, because you are using the same platform. So at the day of the exam, you will be familiar how you need to select the right answer. But additionally, because these sample tests contain past questions, you will be in a position to understand the difficulty of the actual exam. And based on this experience, then you may consider following a preparation training course. I know CESA is doing an excellent job with a specific school that they're running for many years. Please reach out to CESA if there is a need for any additional training. As I mentioned before, there is no specific requirement for you to follow a specific training course. So if somebody feels that is ready after having studied the program's reading materials and they have taken the test and they feel ready that they can take the test, then we strongly encourage you, sign up for our exams within the application window of each of our programs, complete all the necessary requirements with documents and then all the other steps required so you can book your place and join us for one of our next online exams. And hopefully we will welcome you to our alumni of FIDIC Certified Professionals in either of the 3 programs that we discussed today. I think that's in a nutshell our advice in terms of the exam preparation. Just now, I would like to mention that CESA and FIDIC have been working together for a long time. CESA is one of our leading MAs globally. Chris is also involved, as you mentioned, in the Directors and Secretaries Advisory Group, so he has a full understanding of the entire FIDIC ecosystem. So we considered that it would be useful to have a collaboration and give you additional benefits so we can eliminate as many barriers as possible so you can sign up for our exams. So what we are actually came up with is that we offer specific benefits for people who will apply for any of those 3 certification programs through CESA. I'll take one by one. I'll start with the FIDIC Certified Consulting Professional, our early career level certification program suitable for people from any educational background who has at least 3 years of practical experience in the consulting sector. So if you apply through CESA, you will get a 50% discount on your application fees. You will get a 15 discount on your examination fees. And if for any chance you're unsuccessful, we hope you will not be, but if for any chance you are unsuccessful in your first attempt, you will be entitled to 1 free retake. So you're not gonna need to pay any additional fees. This is a level of assurance. We are confident that, especially if you have followed any CESA training course in the past, but even if you don't, we are very confident about the level of competencies of engineers and people in our industry in South Africa. You will not need it, but even if you do, there is a level of assurance. You can take the exam, consider all the lessons learned, and be successful and gain the FIDIC Certified Consulting Professional qualification. Similarly, we offer the same kind of benefits for our second business practices certification, which is the FIDIC Certified Consulting Engineer, which is for more senior people. And most importantly, it only targets professional engineers. So myself, I'm not a professional engineer. So even if I would be interested at any time in my life to apply for this program, I wouldn't be allowed it because I'm not a professional engineer. So if you are a professional engineer and you want to assess and validate your skill set in managing a consulting firm, go through applying through CESA, which means that you will have a half price on your application fees, 15% discount on your examination fees, and again, to provide an additional set of assurance, you will get 1 free retake on if you are successful, as I mentioned. Pretty much the same benefits for the FIDIC Certified Contract Manager without the option of the free retake for various reasons, but I wouldn't like to expand on that. 50% discount on your application fees and 15% discount on your examination fees. It's some quite benefits about one of the most popular programs that we have, one program that is being asked even in hiring processes all over the world, and a stamp of excellence for your ability to manage FIDIC contracts throughout the project lifecycle. I think that's all. I don't know if Chris wants to add anything on what I have just said, or I will just pass the floor to my colleague. Chris, would you like to add anything?
Yes. I think what's important for our audience to understand and appreciate is that whereas in South Africa itself, we probably a lot more marketing needs to be done in terms of the benefits of aligning our industry, our practices with that of a global entity such as FIDIC. It's not about FIDIC contracts. I think that we want to make a resounding qualification around it. It is about industry best practice whether you're an engineer or a practitioner or a contract manager, your knowledge of various forms of contract will be brought to bear in this process. So, even in the certification process, there isn't an absolute requirement. And we are mindful that many of practitioners, locally based, very seldom do use FIDIC contract as a form, but are knowledgeable in contract management of all its other forms. And this process does factor in that. Mm-hmm. What I might add, and some of you again may be wondering, so why would we be advocating for certification in South Africa? Well, many of your companies are, while we wait for our own country to be turned into a construction site, as has often been said by our people in positions of power, many are starting to, and to use a fishing analogy, casting their nets further afield. And many are not necessarily multinational based companies, of which we have quite a few members, who do have a footprint beyond the borders of South Africa. Many of our companies locally are starting to develop that footprint. Now, you may well say, hold on, I've got my local registration with the Engineering Council. I have my international registration through Engineering Council. That's professional registration. That's the statutory requirement. What we're talking here about is an absolute value add in terms of the recognition of your competence and your expertise that you have on offer, which will strengthen your chances of being successful in bidding for projects in every other country across this continent and globally, because of the recognition that FIDIC as an organization has in respect of its standing and the industry. Many may not be aware that most often many of these projects are funded by the World Bank or the African Development Bank. And that money is funded and passed through the governments, specific governments across the continent. There is an absolute acceptance and an encouragement on the part of World Bank as well as African Development Bank for practitioners in the delivery of infrastructure projects to be more than just professional. And if you can reflect that you are FIDIC certified, that only will boost your chances of being successful as a knowledgeable practitioner in infrastructure delivery broadly, and not just a registered professional in a specific country. So I think that's a very important qualification I wanted to share with you. And I'm going to now look at switching back to our agenda. And I think the partnership between CESA and FIDIC is really an additional benefit to our local members wanting to expand their footprint. And how do we help our members be able to be more successful in those environments, along with the need, and please bear this in mind, much like we have our localization and we've got a BBBE requirements, in many neighboring countries, there are localization requirements where you will partner with local consulting engineering firms. And yet again, there may be firms most likely who are affiliated to their local association, be it Botswana, Zambia, Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya. And that double partnership between your local partner and a South African partner who is competent and deemed to be FIDIC credentialed can only improve your chances of success and eliminate some of the risk that I think many companies face, where you may from time to time find yourselves being approached by, and they're not only local, they are across the continent, what we call tenderpreneurs, people who want to partner with you, but don't want to put any skin in the game. So this is where the FIDIC family becomes so important, and the FIDIC certification. So I think that with that said, I'm going to hand over to Falake and Leanne to share with you a bit more there is a limited window when I listen to when the next exam is in respect of the FIDIC Global Infrastructure Conference 2025 Certification Award Ceremony, which will be held in September this year. So, Falake, Leanne, please go ahead before we invite questions from the floor.
Thank you very much, Chris. So, yes, indeed. So, the FIDIC's flagship annual event, which is attended by the wider infrastructure industry, is going to be taking place at the Cape Town International Convention Centre from the 21st of September to the 23rd of September 2025. And each year, it is, I guess, for lack of better words, it is one of our proudest moments when we see our certificate holders being invited on stage to receive their credentials in front of the entire infrastructure and construction sector that is attending the Global Infrastructure Conference, or the GIC. So this is our picture from last year, where we invited some of our guests who attended in Geneva. This year it will be in Cape Town, which is a good opportunity for members to be welcomed onto stage to receive their certificates. As Chris did mention, there is a limited window. There are 2 examination sessions taking place before the GIC, which allows you to come on stage and receive your credentials in Cape Town. And if you need more information about the Global Infrastructure Conference, please do go ahead and scan the QR code that is now on screen. Falake, is there anything that you'd like to add to the GIC?
No, I think you covered it brilliantly. The only thing I would say is just to encourage you to definitely come and get your certificate in person. It's a wonderful experience, and we'll be really pleased to see you there and to congratulate you as you receive this international qualification from us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So then I would say that wraps up the first part of our agenda for today, and we're going to open up to the audience for Q&A. So at this stage, I'd like to invite Brenda. I'm sure you're all very familiar with Brenda, and she'll be moderating the next part of the session for us.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the panelists from FIDIC and CESA. Chris Campbell, thank you so much for joining us today. At present, I have 2 questions, and then I have some pre-questions from before the session of people that could not attend today. So if I can open this question up to the FIDIC panelists. In terms of the material covered in the questions for the Contracts Manager certification, do the questions only cover the 2017 suite, or does it also include material from the 1999 suite of FIDIC documents? Who would like to reply to that question? Kanos or Falake?
I can take that question. For the certification, I think that's really only the FIDIC Certified Contract Manager certification. That's listed
That's correct.
on the website. But just to answer the question, we cover the 2017 books, which is specific to which you will have specific exam questions on. And for more information on that, let me just quickly pull that up for you. Yes, we cover both versions, but just very quickly, let me bring it up. So for the on the website, it says under the examination syllabus, it says that we cover the both editions of the Red Book, Yellow Book, and the Silver Book. So that basically means we cover the 1999 and the 2017 editions of all three books. And it would be a good idea to also have knowledge of the FIDIC Golden Principles. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. I think I will answer the next question as it has to do with CPE, and then I have further questions after that. For South Africans, are certifications EXA CPD accredited, or in other words, CPD validated? As this is only an exam and not a full program or course, there will not be CPD points towards this exam because it's only the exam that you will be writing and not attending courses or training interventions for this. If you attend courses in line with this to eventually write the exams, obviously those courses will be CPD validated. I hope that answers the question. My next question, and people can start putting questions on the question and answer panel if you like. This one can probably go to Leanne. How many retakes can an individual take if they don't pass the first time? We are aware that the first one take is for free, but can they keep on taking it several times until they pass, or is there a set time?
Thank you, Brenda. Yes, so just to be very clear about the retakes, for this special offer, for CESA, the FIDIC Certified Consulting Professional and the Consulting Engineer, you are guaranteed a free retake if you are not successful on your first attempt. But in general, in terms of taking the examination, what we encourage people is that after your third retake attempt, is that you are put onto a mandatory 1-year break, and then you're allowed to come back and take the exam again for 3 additional attempts before, again, being put into a mandatory break of 1 year. We've never had the instance where somebody's come back multiple times after a year break. It's only happened, let's say, twice in all of our examination sessions. But definitely you are allowed to come back time and time again to take the examination, but we do have to observe that there is a break so that, one, you can prepare better, and secondly, also consider the lessons learned, because this is such sought after qualifications. People feel that they do really, really want it, or rather they really need it. But we do encourage that after your third retake attempt to take a 1-year break and then come back and then attempt it again.
Thank you. The next question I have is, do you get feedback after the exam to what questions you got right, what questions you got wrong, or is just a simple mark that comes back as feedback? Who would like to answer that question? Thanos?
Yes, I'll pick this up. Thank you, Brenda. So first of all, when you finish your test, you immediately see your result. So by answering the last question, the system automatically calculates your performance and give you your percentage and whether you have reached the pass mark, which is 60%. If you are 60 and above, you qualify. If you are 59 and below, unfortunately, you have to consider the lessons learned and retake the exam. Currently, we don't share detailed feedback on each of the questions because all these questions, they form part of the question bank of the program, and those questions may be used again in the future. However, what we're working on, and in one of our next improvements that we will do on platform, is to give an indication of each program's, its candidates' performance on the exam domains in terms of how well they perform in that specific domain. But this will not be applicable until the middle of next year. So currently, there is a definite answer. No, we don't share feedback, specific feedback on each of the questions or any other feedback, but you just get your pass or fail notification from the system.
Thank you, Thanos. Another question we have here, unfortunately in South Africa, we have something called load shedding, and it can be several hours long. What happens if you're writing an exam? You do have a stable connection, but we have load shedding that can be up to half an hour or 2 or 3 hours, sometimes a little bit more. Will that mean we lose the opportunity, or how would FIDIC be able to handle that situation? Leanne?
I think I'll take this one. So yes, in terms of load shedding, we understand it's a real thing, right? So what we do recommend is that, one, if you have the means to have a backup energy supply, definitely do that when taking the examination. However, unforeseen circumstances do occur and things do go awry. We deal with each case on a case-by-case basis. So, for example, if a candidate is shortly disconnected and they can rejoin the session, they are encouraged to finish the examination. But if someone is completely disconnected from the session, we look at alternative methods and bringing them back onto the examination. So that means that they are completely unable to obviously access the examination and they're unable to complete. This is dealt with on a case-by-case basis, where they won't lose the attempt and they will be granted an additional opportunity to then take the examination. But again, I will stress the importance of this. This is dealt with on a case-by-case basis, and it is obviously for exceptional circumstances, which load shedding is a big exceptional circumstance in this instance.
Yes. Okay, the next question is, how do the CESA member firms make sure they get their discount? Do they go through the CESA School of Consulting Engineering website, or how do you link up that they're from a member firm if they come straight to your platform? How does the member firms make sure they get all those wonderful discounts that FIDIC is offering to our CESA member firms? Who would like to answer that question?
Can I pick this up?
Thank you, Tana.
Let's go ahead.
All right. So as mentioned before, our programs are open for all 4 corners, candidates from all corners of the world. So if you go directly with us, you will not be entitled of those specific benefits. So please ensure you reach out to CESA if you're interested in signing up from the program, and CESA will share with you a confidential discount code, which you need to include in your applications while you're submitting your application before this is activated. So reach out to CESA indicating that you're interested in applying for the certification program or for any of the 3 certification programs, and CESA and us will have the means to give you through CESA a personalized discount code that you can use during your application on FIDIC's platform, and all your benefits will be automatically applicable, and you will be entitled for these discounts on the application fees, which is half price, the 15% discount on your examination fees, and the free retake whenever it's applicable. This is very important to highlight. If you go directly on our platform without approaching CESA first, this means that your benefits would not be automatically applied on your application.
Thank you. Then the last question I have, before if there's anybody else in the audience, is you mentioned that there's the body of knowledge that is covered in each certification. Is there a reference library that people could go onto and read certain documentation if they don't want to do a course? Is there reference material they can peruse before writing the exam, or is it reliant on their experience? Palaka?
Yes, I think it's a combination of 2 things. So most of our certification basically focuses on what you already know. So your personal experience as a professional working in the industry. For instance, in the case of the consulting practitioner, that's somebody who's worked for 3 years and has started to learn how the business of the consulting firm operates, which will be certain HR things and basic knowledge about how the business is run, and also the things they learn as they go along, which is related to business practices. For the other ones, it might be a bit more technical than that, but the body of knowledge basically lists the things that a person should know. And then we have the examination syllabus, which tells you what kind of books or what kind of materials you could use to prepare. And this is really for assurance that you really know what we're going to question you on. So for instance, in the contract manager scenario, you would need to know the FIDIC contracts quite well. For the engineer, you don't need to know the FIDIC contracts, like we said, but you need to know how a manager would manage a construction or engineering project. So that would mean you would need to know things to do with human resources, how to manage a team, soft skills, and so many other things related to that, and communication and things like that. But in terms of the second half, in terms of what the person needs to use to prepare, we have a list of documents which are listed on each of the web pages of the certification programs. And we strongly encourage the people who want to take our exams to either purchase these books, or if they already have them in their library, great. If they can borrow them, great. And to prepare using those documents, to refresh their memory, to make sure they have the knowledge that they need for the exam, and prepare accordingly. In terms of getting the materials, the other option as well is to purchase the books from the FIDIC publications. You can get that either electronically or in a paper form, and then you can use that to prepare for the exam. It's not obligatory to get the books. It's not obligatory to use the books listed. However, it is strongly encouraged because that way you are better prepared for the exam. Some exams are closed books and some exams are open books. So that basically means that when you come to the exam for a closed book exam, you can't use the material. So you have to prepare well in advance and be reassured that you are ready to take the exam. But for the open book one, you can refer to it either in the electronic version or in the physical format, the paper version, and consult that during the exam. But given that the exam is quite intense, it's better that you're well prepared ahead of the time and you have read the materials and you're familiar with what kind of questions you would need to answer. We also encourage you, obviously, to take part in the sample test, which gives you a good idea of what the questions would be like, and also puts you in the exam sort of framework so that you know how much time you need to prepare for each question and how much time you need to answer each question. I hope that covers everything. If I missed anything, you can add.
Thank you. No, thank you. That was a fantastic answer. I don't see any more questions in either the chat or the Q&A box. If there's no further questions, and we are probably a bit out of time, we're just after 1 o'clock. Tanis, can I hand the floor back to you for your closing remarks?
Thank you, Brenda, and thank you, CESA team, for giving us the opportunity to explain to your engineers and to your member firms about FIDIC, about FIDIC certification body, and about 3 of the most important certification programs that we're offering. We are very excited to see quite some interest in this webinar. We hope that we will be able to welcome a lot of you in one of our exams. We believe that this FIDIC credentialing initiative is quite important in the global infrastructure industry and sector. As mentioned before, it's an additional assurance for each individual that they possess the minimum skill sets required to perform what they're already doing, having the FIDIC seal of excellence in their personal portfolio. We strongly encourage you to have a thorough look on our website. Please reach out to the FCL team at fcl@fidic.org if you need any additional clarifications. Please reach out to CESA in order to have a better understanding about all these additional benefits. This collaboration with CESA is very important for us. and we'll do whatever is necessary to make it successful. We do hope that some of you, or if not all of you, will consider taking one of the next 2 sessions that are organized either in July or in August, for the additional reason that if you are successful, and we are confident that you will be successful, you will have the opportunity to meet with us during the GIC and participate in the certificates award ceremony, get a hard copy of your certificate, take some pictures with the FIDIC president, with Sir Vivian Ramsey, who has confirmed his attendance in the GIC. And you will also be able to network with other FIDIC certified professionals. It's a great opportunity for you. We really hope that this will be something that you will strongly consider. I would like to thank you again, all the CESA team, and I would like to thank my team as well, and Michelle as well, for participating in this journey for the very first beginning. And we look forward to welcoming you in our exams and hopefully to meet all of you in Cape Town in September. That's all from my side. Thank you very, very much.